So here we are, north of Arras and away from the Somme. We've come to our first cemetery as we're heading north, and it's the Nine Elms Cemetery. Here on the side of the motorway, which is very strange. We just passed another two. There's one just the other side of that bridge, a cemetery, British military cemetery, and then we're here at Nine Elms. Immaculately kept, even though it sits on the side of the motorway, and we're here to pay our respects to a Bellahouston boy.
Sergeant Freshy was the eldest son of the late Mr. J.M. Freshy, Procurator Fiscal, County Buildings, Glasgow, and of Mrs. Freshy, 21 Keir Street, Pollokshields. On leaving school, he took up engineering as a profession and was an engineer on the staff of the Canadian Pacific Railway when war broke out. Joining the Victoria Fusiliers, he came to France with the 88th Canadian Forces. He took his share of heavy fighting and was wounded on the Somme. On his recovery, he again saw active service with the Canadians, but on the 9th of April 1917, he was killed at Vimy Ridge. A former pupil of Bellahouston Academy, Glasgow.
So in the cemetery, a few French graves as well, and one mass grave just up at the front there as we paid our respects to another mass grave just there as well. So nice little cemetery, or to say nice, but quite a well maintained. A lot of French over the back there as well. And quite a lot of Canadians, a lot of Canadian flags, obviously more Canadian cemetery as we head on to our next stop. So here we've arrived at the Vimy Memorial. In the car park, it is vast. There is trenches all over there. There's walkways where we can walk through the trenches, and we've not even got down to the memorial yet. So we will head down to the memorial and then we'll walk our way back up through the trenches as we pay our respects. It is a vast area, mostly dedicated to the Canadians, but there is some VC winners here. There's also a Bellahouston boy and a footballer. As I said, we're walking down here to the monument, and we are just in the whole vast area of trench warfare. I mean, it's all here, everything here. They're further up, but you know, where explosions have went off as well, shells have dropped. We're just in the heart of the trenches. So I think it's the only way I can see it. But we're heading down to the monument, a vast area. And I can see part of it now as we're walking down. And yeah, this was, you know, if Newfoundland was take your breath away, I think this is actually going to completely take my breath away. So here we go, we're walking. closer, else cutting back more to it. So here we are at the sort of main walk. The memorial. So another update, we've hit that path, we've come off it to sort of roundabout, and it just keeps getting Don't quote me on that one. As I say, we're walking up here to the okay, we are standing at the steps of go around. We will look for him and hopefully find, pay our respects to him. Hopefully you can read that inscription. It says, "To the valour of their country, men in the Great War and in memory of their 60,000 dead. This monument is raised by the people of Canada." Very windy up here, as you say, as we go round the other side of it now and looking up to it. It is just a stunning, stunning memorial to the Canadian forces. So here we are, we have found our Bellahouston boy Guthrie.
Private John Stuart McCall Guthrie, 51st Canadian Infantry and 2nd Lieutenant Thomas Guthrie, 6th Cameron Highlanders of the sons of the late Mr and Mrs Jai Guthrie, Care Drive. Private Guthrie left Glasgow in May 1914 and entered the service of the Merchant Banks of Canada at Sedgwick, Canada. In July 1915 he joined the 51st Battalion Canadian Infantry and arrived in England in May 1916. Shortly afterwards he was in France and was killed in action at Ypres on the 26th of September in his 21st year. His brother Thomas was wounded at the Battle of Loos 1915 and on returning fought in the Battle of the Somme. He was seriously wounded in the Battle of Arras 26th of April 1917. For more than a year he suffered in hospital and at last succumbed to his injuries on the 27th of June 1918 in Glasgow and is buried in Craigton Cemetery, Glasgow, a former pupil of Bellahouston Academy, Glasgow.
Well, here we are. We're heading up to the The trench setup they have here at Vimy, very impressive. I mean, the original trenches, but what they've done is reinforced them and made them to how they were. So they've actually built this, and this would have been exact, obviously using wood and anything they could find, but these were probably built to exactly the same replica as the original ones. As you can see, the original ones all around us. You can go down and into them. So if we go around, rather large craters, ridges. Yeah, so as we say, we go down into these trenches that were reinforced, remade, to give you an idea. I think we're actually in the German side of the trenches. As it leads out, you've got little bits. So this is the German side of the trenches. Looking over, if we look up here and look over, that was to the Canadian side. Only 50 yards away across no man's land. If we sort of go here, and if we pop up here, just at the other side of that ridge, or the flag there, even before the flag. So if I say those little columns, those little trees thing, that is the Canadian side. So how close they were to the fighting, very, very close. As we go back round and follow these all the way out. And amazing what the Canadians have done here to not to preserve, but to make them to the exacting of what was actually here. And if you actually go up here, you will see that can't go any further because there's an electric fence which unexploded. They, again, as you see, that was part more of the trench, the German trench system there, which led right through. Obviously you can't go there because there may well be some unexploded bombs there. So we head back along the trench to the end. So I say there is loads and loads of these trenches. You could spend hours here exploring it. We'd have spent, you know, a good little bit here as I fell up the stairs. As you see, there is a tour going on at the moment, so we've sort of skipped round that, but those trenches are coming out of there. So this is, and then again, all the German side, this is all German trenches as they come out. As we're heading to the car park and back, it's a huge, vast area. Vimy is, and all Canadian here, so it's a must visit. I would say I've never been here before. I know Dennis has, and yes, this is a must visit. So as we're heading out, we've been down to the memorial, we've done the trenches, the visitor centre, as I said, we've done all of that. And I say the reason we came here was to remember some of the fallen. First off, a Bellahouston boy, John Guthrie, which we did do. There was a couple of VC winners here, a William Milne and a Robert Coombe, and a Frederick Hobson, as well as Robert Spall. We also had George Badenoch, who was a footballer, and if I can remember rightly, actually played for Hearts, Glossop, Watford, Spurs and Northampton Town. So as we leave the Vimy area, we've remembered all of those lost souls who are on the wall. You can't leave anything there because it's such a pristine area, but all there, we've remembered them. So we're still here in Vimy as we're walking down to the car park, and it looks like they're starting what they'd done up near the memorial, planting trees in the trenches here. Obviously a lot of unexplosions and everything, and just as a remembrance as well, making it a more wooded area. Don't quote me on that, but it may well be that they may be planting maples. Whether they'd last here or not, I don't know, but just heading down, could just be chestnuts oaks, I don't know what. But yeah, as you see, a whole area just as we're coming up to the car park in the trenches where they're now putting trees. And my various trees I can see different. I can see chestnut there, you know, so it's just planting up, rewooding it, so to speak, as to make it a more, here we go, and right on cue, I'll turn this that way, there it is, they're doing a little bit of a, it might not work, but yes, video, but they're replanting, preserving legacy of the Forest Conservatory, so amazing.